Hello again, folks, and welcome to a new Let's Play. This is Pillars of Eternity. I'm your Game Master Darius, and although my brain works weird, it totally goes, oh hey, you know, I'm not really in the mood for another JRPG that is massive, long, has one hell of a probably weird plot and all that fun stuff. But then my brain will also then turn around and go, hey, you know what? CRPG that's roughly 40 hours long and has party management up the wazoo. Anyways, Pillars of Eternity, as far as I know, is a game stylized very much in the same sort of vein as Baldur's Gate. Not the third one, the first two. And I've always been intrigued in it, and at the time of my purchasing this, I don't even remember when the hell I purchased this game. My friend Link had been going off about how he was playing it and some of the weirdnesses and eccentricity, how wild it was when he was playing through it, and I got very much intrigued all over again. Now, I know that the second Pillars of Eternity was a big deal, because when that came out, there was an option to either find/recruit NPCs based off of the current Critical Role campaign that was running at the time. I'm not really that much of a Critical Role person myself, but hey, you know what? It's cool that it got the attention, especially from an indie studio that was worked through Kickstarter. I love seeing success stories like that when it comes to, you know, niche RPG genres like this. But anyways, we are going to play on easy because I want to have a good time, not a bad time. I could play on story mode. Enemy composition is that of the normal difficulty, but the game mechanics are based on the player's favor. Additionally, the party can carry an unlimited number of camping supplies. Tempting. Easy, it is just minimal micromanagement and easily forgives mistakes in combat. I would like that before trying to get through the story. Strongly recommended for those who are new or recently returning to real-time party-based RPGs. Hey, that's me. Normal difficulty. Not recommended for newcomers to real-time party-based strategies. Forgives a few mistakes in combat, but requires strategy and efficiency. Ha! Yeah, I don't got none of that. Hard mode, suited for Infinity Engine veterans who are looking for a challenge. Infinity Engine being the engine that Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were played off of, if I remember correctly. Survival requires micromanagement and optimization of stats through items, spells, and abilities. And then Path of the Damned. The F the player difficulty. This option cannot be changed in-game. It is only intended for players who want the most punishing of encounters. We also have Expert Mode. It disables a number of the helper features. Rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game. Should play Expert Mode. So, never. And then Trial of Iron, which is one save file is kept for the entire playthrough. If you're killed, the file is deleted and you must start again. Also, probably never. I like to have fun in my video games, and I don't find that fun. That looks snazzy. Might affects all damage and healing done by the player and their fortitude defense. May also be used in conversations and scripted interactions for tests of power and strength. I can read. Power and strength, not strength and power. It might be a little early, me starting to record this. Loading. Please work. Oh boy. Don't have crashed on me.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night. their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern is only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Yeah, it has chapter intros like Baldur's Gate. I really dig that so far. And then we have character creation. I might honestly spend the remainder of this video on doing nothing but the character creation because from what I have tested out, it is rather in-depth. I have a couple of characters in mind for this. One second, let me roll, as it were. I usually have two characters in mind when it comes to my RPGs. One is Darius, but I kind of want to pull away from him for a while. Two is a character that I love playing called Eliza. She is a large woman with a penchant for archery, but also wields a hammer. You know, your stereotypical red-headed hammer wielder, as it were. And then another one that I've been wanting to play more of called Talos Windblade. Very much a kind of a Paladin-y kind of a character, two-handed swords and whatnot. So I'm gonna roll 2 die 20s. One of these die, if it is higher than the other one, I will play as that character. Talos it is. Rolled a 4 and a 3. It's that close. Love it when it's that close. So, Talos. He's a dude. Rice. We have humans, also just called folk. Most common race in the Direwood, the Ader Empire, Old Valalia. Oh, I love when they do this too. And Valian republics, though not as large as the towering Amau. Humans are known for their strength and willpower. So you get resolve, which reflects the character's drive, fearlessness, emotional intensity. Can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, it affects concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses, whereas might is might. In combat, contributes to both damage and healing, as well as fortitude defense. We got his towering behemoths, the Mao, Aulmao. The mighty Amau are the largest of the kiths and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Bao Tai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. Might +2. Let me check something really quick. Yeah, okay. And then each one has a different sub-race, as it were, to grant additional things, or maybe that's just appearance. I think it's just appearance. That's cool. So, like, if I were to go for a Mao, probably would have gone for an island one for... Oh no, it is different from some of the other races. So, towering physique. Koso Amau gain bonuses to defend against prone and stun. Whereas the island ones, all island Amau gain an additional weapon set. Neat. Got the dwarves. Oh man, it was tempting to actually think of Erebor for this. Erebor being another D&D character, which is actually not a Lord of the Rings character. Shut up. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled races in the world. They are commonly found in the Direwood. That's always going to throw me off. The Valian republics and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity, but not for their dexterity. You got mountain dwarves, which have bonuses against poison and disease. Very stereotypical D&D dwarf there. The boreal ones gain plus 15 accuracy against any creature of the wilder or primordial types. Interesting. And we have the elves. Yay, elves. Elves are the dominant race in Glanfath, and the white, the white that wins, and are extremely common in the Direwood and Adir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as commonly isolationist nature. And then we got Wood Elf, which distance advantage against any enemy that is more than 4 meters away. Wood Elves gain bonuses to accuracy, deflection, and reflex. That's pretty bitchin'. And that just opens up another character idea I have. He's less defined though, so. Pale Elves. Elemental Endurance. All Pale Elves have increased burn and freeze damage reductions. Neat. Orlan, which are feisty looking creatures. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlans are commonly found in Glanfath, the Ixamital Plains, and parts of the Direwood. These words are going to kill me. I swear. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. I can word. We got the Wild Orlan. After being subjected to a wild attack, Wild Orlans temporarily gain a bonus to all defenses. That's pretty bitchin'. And then the Hearth, which are significantly less fuzzy. A minor threat when attacking any target that is also being targeted by a teammate. Hearth Orlans convert some of their hits into crits. Excuse me. A hit is any attack roll that is between 51 and 100. When the attack scores a hit, it does standard damage and has standard duration. Whereas a crit is anything that rolls above a 100. A crit that does damage increases the total damage done by 50%. A crit on effects with a duration will increase the duration by 50%. That's pretty bitchin'. Oh no. Oh, I've only started and now I'm getting other kind of character ideas I could play with. Because these guys are pretty cool. And then godlikes. Godlikes are children of the Kith, civilized races, who have been blessed with the physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it to be a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and the godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed as with fear and wonder. Increase in intelligence and dexterity. Then you got different... Whoa. And you got different kinds of godlike. Death's Usher. When death godlike attack an enemy with 25% or less endurance. I'm gonna guess endurance is like their health. Their damage is increased, so the closer they are to death, the more damage you do. Fire. When reduced below 50% endurance, fire godlikes glow like metal in a forge, gaining damage reduction and doing a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. That's actually pretty bitchin' too. Moon godlike. Oh, that's a look. Silver Tide. Every encounter, when reduced below 75, 50, and 25 endurance, moon godlikes generate waves of healing moonlight that restore endurance to them and their allies. That's pretty neat. And then the nature godlike. Wellspring of Life gains a bonus to might, constitution, and dexterity when endurance is below 50%. So these guys are very much they take damage. Their survivability goes up, which is very neat. However, of all these options, Talos is a human. Now, is it the same? Yeah, it's the same for all the humans. Interesting. Once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance, Hulk temporarily gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. Just south of the equator, with the exception of some groups with the migrated north. I have no clue how much the subrace affects characters, like options in throughout the game, but still. Let's see, we got Barbarian. Starting ability, Carnage. When Barbarians hit with a melee attack, they automatically make reduced damage attacks at all other enemies within a short distance of the target. Oh, so they have like it's kind of like a small AoE every single time they strike. Pretty bitchin'. More athletics, more survival. These are skills, I believe. Get into that when we get into that. Endurance is short-term survivability. Damage is not represented, or damage that is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction goes straight to their endurance and health. Potions and healing magic can restore endurance in combat. When a character's endurance reaches 0, he or she will be knocked out. Knocked out character can be brought back in combat through the use of the revive ability. Otherwise, characters will regain their endurance at the end of combat, assuming they're on a winning side. Then health is the long-term damage, only regained through rest and certain talents. Damage that is not absorbed by character's damage reduction goes straight to their health and endurance. When health reaches 0, they will either be maimed or killed, depending on the settings. A maimed character who is reduced to 0 health will always be killed regardless of settings. Unlike endurance, a character's health does not get restored after combat. The characters have much larger health values than endurance values. Okay, so endurance kind of works something like a stamina, or a very esoteric way of doing like a luck sort of a thing, whereas health is your actual vitality. That's pretty cool. Accuracy +3 per level. Oh, okay, so that's what that means. So it's like a percentile based attack. Interesting. Accuracy is part of almost every attack. It influences how likely the target is to affect the attack is to affect the target. Accuracy is determined primarily by a character's class and level, but also influenced by perception, talents, and other active effects such as spells or items. When the attack is made, the accuracy is compared to the appropriate defense on the target to determine how the attack roll will be modified. If accuracy is above the target's defense, more likely to result in a hit or crit, less likely to result in a graze or a miss. Any ability or talent that does not use a weapon as part of the attack gains a small accuracy bonus based on the level of the character. And then deflection. Defense used to resist direct melee and ranged attacks against a character that are not an area of effect. It is defined by the character's class level and resolve, but may also be influenced by shields, certain weapons, talents, and other effects from spells or items. Whew. Welcome to the world of CRPGs, folks. Let's see, we got the Barbarian, which, again, Carnage. The Chanta. I'm gonna guess this is very cleric-y. All chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Powerful magical effects that chanters can create after they have spoken a required number of phrases through their chants. Oh, okay, so they build up their magical power through their phrases and chants until they can use their invocations. Neat. Cypher. Ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of their soul whip. Whip, soul whip. I won't read on these ones though. A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach, ciphers were once called Threshalgwyn, mind hunters by the Glanfathans. I'm gonna kill my freaking tongue trying to say these. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus of their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, practitioners of the techniques have spread throughout the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Neat. Got the druids. Enemies at heart, druids tap into the spiritual power that flows through the simple living things of Eora. Plants, animals, sometimes even living stone. While not necessarily religious, druids do have a reverence of the natural world and a keen interest in understanding its mysteries. In most cultures, druids are understood as a sort of primal magician, but under the Glanfathin's Nasiktekri and many rural cultures, they may have high positions of influence and authority. They can shapeshift, giving them strong melee abilities and additional powers. And then they also get spells. Lower in survival. Pretty low survivability by the looks of it, though. Like, until they shapeshift. Yeah. Fighters. What do you want? They're fighters. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach, though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure. Fighters can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that unifies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee combat. Fighters continuously regenerate endurance at a moderate rate during combat. That's pretty bitchin'. A high deflection, high health, high endurance, well, higher endurance than some of the other ones we've read, and a really decent accuracy. Monks. Monks belong to a variety of fighting orders that have sprung up in Ixamital and the Eastern Reach over the past few centuries. While many monastic orders can trace their teachings to the enduring founder, Telatak. These words are going to kill me. Individual organizations vary greatly in their focus, morality, and ethics. Common folk respect the incredible discipline of monks, but see them as an odd, unpredictable bunch who are not entirely sane. Even mercenaries and other adventurers aren't sure what to make of them. Transcendent suffering. When monks have no weapons equipped, their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful, continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. Okay. Wounds. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. So high health, high accuracy, pretty decent deflection, but an average endurance. And probably don't have much in the way of armor too. I also hadn't read Chanter and Barbarian, so I'll do that really quickly before I go back to this other list. In every culture across Eora, there are chanters. Many historians consider chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic. Their hallowed phrases stirring the collective memory of wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in the kind of reenactment. In some societies, chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in most parts of the world, they are just a time-honored part of local folk traditions. Still neat. Brutes, madmen, berserkers. Though city-dwelling people often use the term barbarian with a dose of disrespect, these rural warriors are respected by their communities for their ferocity and fearsome presence on the battlefield. Barbarians have a special, almost religious role in their cultures, but in many places the undisciplined, fearless style of the barbarian is simply how warriors conduct themselves. Yeah, theoretically I could make Darius the Beast as a character in this, but honestly it doesn't feel right if it's not a gnome. Wizard. Masters of academic magic, wizards are students of arcane traditions that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies or guilds devoted to research and development in magical studies, and tend to favor environments where inquiry, experimentation, debate, and the dissemination of knowledge are encouraged. Many accomplished wizards that eventually become known for their eccentricity, egos, and their unquenchable interest in all things arcane and occult. So yeah, like every single wizard I've seen basically ever. Arcane Assault, mid-range attack that hits a small area for raw damage. Oh boy. 8 damage types: Slash, Pierce, Crush, Burn, Shock, Corrode, Freeze, and Raw. Some damage types are used to determine how easily a target resists damage. Do multiple damage. Got it. Damage types. Not sure what Raw even represents, but okay. And can leave the targets dazed. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defensive spells, unlike priests and druids. Wizards learn individual spells that they can store in and cast directly from their grimoires. They learn spells. Got it. Goddamn. The Rogue. Vicious killers, feared for the brutality of their attacks. They can be found as often in dark back alleys as the heart of battlefield skirmishers. Though unpredictable and undisciplined, rogues are commonly used as shock troopers or as part of a surprise assault, their withering attacks breaking enemy ranks and morale. Rogues tend to congregate in larger numbers in cities where they can be steadily employed as mercenaries or hired muscle. They can sneak attack, additional bonus damage when their target is afflicted by blindness, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, or weakened. It also applies to any target the rogue strikes with a weapon within the first 2 seconds of combat. That's actually a pretty neat little addition. Ranger. Warriors of the woodlands and masters of the hunt. Always partnered with soul-bonded animal companions, they can be found in wild spaces all over the world. As their lifestyles often tend toward independence and isolation, it is rare for rangers to become an integral part of a large fighting force, though they are often employed as scouts or guards. And they get an animal companion. Don't do much damage, but they have a high damage reduction, so there's something like a distractionary tank, it seems like. And then priests. Devotees of Aora's deities and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicate themselves to a specific deity, or god even, priests' powers is actually derived from personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and the relationship of religious organizations with common folk. The reception of priests in any given part of the world depends largely on how their god is revered or reviled by the people who live there. So they also get spells, some offensive-oriented ones, but they also get Holy Radiance. It generates a moderate amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and they may be frightened. Oh, so it's like churning. Neat. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations of the priest gained relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her deity. So, this can change based on your action. Neat. And then Paladin. Martial zealots devoted to a god, a ruler, or even a way of life. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. Among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration, if a bit of fear. Many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies, but in the heat of battle, their fanaticism often overrules the chain of commands and common sense. Faith and conviction. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputation the paladin gains relative to the behavior preferred by his or her order. So, bonus to defenses purely based off of how the hell you play. Could be interesting. Oh boy. The different orders. The Bleakwalkers are soldiers dedicated to conducting warfare mercilessly and with extreme brutality in order to bring a swift end to conflicts. Because they are renowned for their terrible, unyielding nature, most nobles will only call on them as a last resort. The Bleak Walker's behavior reinforces cruelty because the quickest resolution to a battle is one in which the Bleak Walker's arrival is announced and a surrender immediately follows. To ensure that people understand that no mercy will be given by Bleak Walkers, they never give quarter under any circumstances. So, if you want to be in favor with the Bleak Walkers, you'll have to be cruel and aggressive, and being benevolent and diplomatic is a bad thing. They're murder hobos. Got it. Dracosi Paladini. The oldest known paladin order in the world, the Dracosi Paladini, were founded by the guards of the Dracosi Palace in Gran Valia over 2,000 years ago. Since the shattering of Gran Valia, the Dracosi Paladini are transformed into the protectors and ambassadors of the immense Dracosi family as well as Old Valian culture. The Dracosi Paladini are widespread and occasionally even come into conflict with each other due to the machinations of the Dracosi family. Paladins of the order are renowned for their wit and love of life. So be passionate and clever, but do not be cruel and stoic. Gold Pact Knights are an order of mercenary paladins who sell themselves for all sorts of defensive and offensive engagements. They emerged into the Pearl Coast a few hundred years ago and managed to survive the destruction of the dwarven nature that created them. Gold Pact Knights are not especially brutal and are willing to shift direction based on the desires of their employers. As their name suggests, Gold Pact Knights believe payment forms a binding contract. They're known for being non-judgmental, professional, and impressively mirthless. So being stoic and rational, but do not be passionate and aggressive. Ooh, already like the name of this one, so let's try to cover that one last. Shield Bearers of Saint Elkga. I might say no to this one simply off the trying to say that all damn game. During the peace negotiation, an archer from the kingdom of Aedir shot the noblewoman emissary of Kolkin, Elkga, in the arm, provoking battle. Elkga, nevertheless, made a second attempt at negotiation, accompanied by 3 elven knights whose only arms were shields they held in front of Elkga to protect her. Elkga succeeded, helping form the Aedir Empire. The knights who protected her founded the Shield Bearers of Saint Elkga, who continued to act as guardians and diplomats in Aedir and beyond. They are well known for their honesty and skill in negotiations. So, being honest and diplomatic versus cruel and aggressive. And then the Kind Wayfarers. The most widespread paladin order, Kind Wayfarers are guides and protectors for travelers, often people of limited means traveling in dangerous areas. Kind Wayfarers lack the noble prestige of other paladin orders, but are widely respected by commoners for their generosity and compassion. Kind Wayfarers lack a centralized structure, and many members operate independently in remote areas. Though the order is known for not being wealthy, in recent years they've improved their finances via cartography and working with groups like the Hand Occult to develop travel guides for little-known parts of Eora. So being benevolent and passionate, but not deceptive and cruel. Yeah, that sounds like Talos. Paladin abilities. We have the Flames of Devotion. Call upon the paladin's inner fire, causing their equipped weapons to burst into flame and adding burn damage to their attacks. 2 per encounter? Okay. So I can use it twice per encounter. Got it. Instant. User full attack. Do crush, plus more crush. Accuracy versus deflection. 50% damage as burn. With a 20% accuracy. Or lay on hands. Fueled solely by belief, the paladin is able to heal with the touch of his or her hands, recovering a substantial amount of endurance for the paladin or an ally within range. So within 3 meters, can heal a target for 54.9 endurance over 5 seconds. And this is a one or the other thing, isn't it? Benevolent and kind, but let's go with Flames of Devotion. Alright, attributes. Oh god. Recommended for Paladin. Goody. It's one of those things where Paladin has suggestions. Highly recommended. Okay. Might affects damage and healing as well as fortitude defense. Constitution affects health and endurance and contributes to fortitude defense. What is fortitude defense again? Resists attack on the internal and physical damages and physical systems of the character. Could have just said status effects. Affected by the character's class, level, might, and constitution. Alright. Dexterity affects the action speed with all attacks, spells, and abilities, and contributes to the reflex defense. Perception affects accuracy, reflex defense, and grants the bonus to interrupt. Intellect increases your will defense and influences durations and areas effects for all abilities and talents. And then resolve. In combat, it helps characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses. I'm curious as to why resolve is so highly recommended, but I guess it's because internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and emotional intensity they can project to others. Let's put that at 15. I put that to 2. That'll increase my will a little bit. I'd say increasing his perception next to. But more damage and healing. Pretty good fortitude, I guess. Hey, how can you tell that Darius has never touched the game yet? Oh boy. Again, I've only fired up this game long enough to make a couple of characters go, yeah, that's neat, and then turn it off. And then we have the different... Oh, this also affects our starting equipment? Interesting. There's an option for a greatsword. Ooh, I may take it. Alright, the Adir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world, centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Adir is at its heart and houses the majority of its humans and elven nations. Deadfire Archipelago has an ice spirit. Consisting of the nation of Nasatak, dozens of Ao-Mau settlements, and hundreds of lawless pirates-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Deadfire is home to boreal, dwarves, Ao-Mau, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone heading east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. Ixamiddle Plains, located to the northeast of Glanfath. Ixamiddle Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by humans and Orland residents. The Ixamiddle culture is one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out over the past several thousand years. Old Valia. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Rautai. Domination by the Ao-Mau nation of Rautai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Ao-Mau, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. The Living Lands. a mountainous region of large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The living lands are home to an assortment of races and a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And finally, the White That Wins. A large, cracked northern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wins is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Ah! Okay. So, on one half, you gotta consider what it is that your character, or where it is that your character is from, I suppose. This is like the most commonly of commoners that can commonly common. Lawless, pirate-infested islands. Fertile savannas. Based off of the look of this armor, I'd almost say conquistador and graveyard using individuals. I don't know. The nation run by the Almouths. Living lands is wild forests, yes, and then northern lands, which interestingly increases one's perception instead. Which accuracy is important, but honestly, yeah, most honestly, this character would be. He is the commonly common man that has commonly risen to the occasion of being better than the sum of his beginnings. Let's put it that way. Oh god, and then backgrounds. Which does increase your skills, I guess. We've not even gotten into skills. That's something we can. What the hell is that? Anyways, aristocrat. You've lived your life among the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals and extravagant parties, conversations peppered with talk of pedigree and bloodlines. Boring. Colonist. You're part of a group that founded a fledgling colony in the distant land. Descendant. You made a name for yourself as a troublemaker. Disrespect for authority and a lack of care regarding the rules are recurring themes in your life. Drifter, you never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You are more comfortable on the road traveling the world. Hunter, you live for the thrill of the chase, whether for glory or for sustenance. You have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. Laborer, your life has been spent to the study of your craft. You're trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and ply your trade. Mercenary, blade in battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force. Merchant, you've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers in all kinds. Clergyman, piety and prayer are the cornerstones of your public life, and you encourage the same in others. And then slave. You've never known freedom. Shackles and chains have bound your existence, and someone has told you what to do your entire life. I kind of want to say he'd be a laborer. Your life has been spent to the study of your craft. You trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills. I'm seeing this more as a less of a merchanty sort of a dude and more of a athletics. Mechanics. Law. I kind of wish I could see the goddams. No? I was kind of hoping that I could see where the hell the skills are, but okay. See, this is where character background doesn't fit with the mechanics. Because, like, yeah, he's mostly known for just drifting around doing good deeds and whatnot. But at the same time, Drifter equals stealth and mechanics, which mechanics seems to be more or less the ability to pick locks and disable traps. Just machines in general. And he's been known to be a mercenary. In fact, that's kind of what he is at this point. Now, athletics and lore fit, but it doesn't always solve things with blade. And he's certainly no clergyman necessarily. But that lore skill would be useful to just activate shit. I'd say probably just mercenary for the sake of simplicity. Alright. 99 different appearances. Holy shit. 37 is pretty close to how I imagine them. You can very much import character portraits as far as I know. But I'm not doing that. Man, I got all sorts here. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 37. Nope. Not what I thought it was gonna be. Let's go for that color. In a little bit traveled. Oh god, too blonde. Alright. I wish I could zoom in. Okay, so that's overall face. I like 4. Sorry. Usually the mohawks throw me off. I guess that's kind of the closest I'm gonna get to what's on the portrait, because it's interesting. They provide the portraits. You would think that they'd also provide the hair. That's a mullet. I'm not gonna go with a mullet. No. You just think that they'd provide the hair within the portrait for the 3D model. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the most fitting one. Boy, those are some beardy options. Let's just go for a clean shaven.
Yeah?
I shall lead us.
Let's go!
I'll go on ahead.
Now I am the leader of the group.
I'll take a peek. Hey there. Watch and learn.
Smooth. Yeah!
I'll take a peek. Yeah?
I'm flattered. Stand together! Not a sound. I'm here. I'm flattered.
I'll teach you a lesson!
And we'll go with smooth. And then this is Talos Windblade. I'm probably just gonna say Talos because that is a name. Alright. I'm presuming that as soon as I click accept, we jump into the game. So here we go. Or no, we don't. Cool. I just want to look over my character a little bit more. Kind of want to trade off one more might. Balance out Constitution a little bit just to increase his survivability. But other than that, Mercenaries providing some resolve. Brought that up to a 16, which good concentration, deflection, all that fun stuff. If I linger any further on here, I might just end up changing the character completely, so. I'm gonna go ahead and call an episode here. When we return, Talos Windblade jumps into the world, Pillars of Eternity. It's gonna be an interesting time, I think, simply because this is the first CRPG in a long while that I've played that will be completely and totally blind. Save for a couple of later game shenanigans that are probably not going to be attached to my character that I was slightly spoiled by my buddy Link. Yeah, I don't even remember what those were anymore. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. If you're looking forward to this series and want to support the channel, consider dropping a like, following, commenting, subscribing. Helps out the channel, lets you know whenever the hell I upload a video, which is currently 3 times a day, 6 days a week. Because I have no life. And of course, if you want to support the channel, I have a bevy of links down in the description below if you want to do so in a financial fashion. Every little bit helps, keeps a roof over my head, food in my belly, and goes to upgrading my PC to play some more video games of more impressive states. Yes. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Cheers.